everybody, welcome back. Live at Drew's house, another edition. Hope you're all doing well out there. We got a music show in Newburyport. You know how much I love this. First time guest, Connecticut-based, Frank Viele.
It started back in 1984, the day that I was born, they knew. 20 years later, with a guitar and a chord, I started looking for the truth. Call it an addiction, a foolish kind of mission. But some dreams just won't die. The trouble with desire, it's like a wildfire, burning, raging out of control. The trouble with the flames is once they know your name, they never wanna let you go. Sparks are in the wire, devils in the choir, and that's the trouble with desire. Black dress with emeralds in her eyes, pretty lies are all she tells. Hell on heels, lightning and thunder, she got me under one of the spells. Call it an addiction, a foolish kind of mission, but I just gotta roll the dice. The trouble with desire, it's like a wildfire, burning, raging out of control. The trouble with the flames is once they know your name, they never wanna let you go. Sparks are in the wire, devils in the choir, and that's the trouble with desire. Trouble with desire. The trouble with desire is like a wildfire, burning, raging out of control. The trouble with the flames is once they know your name, they never wanna let you go. Sparks are in the wire, devils in the choir, sparks are in the wire, and the devils in the choir, and that's the trouble with desire. The trouble with desire.
Frank Viele, welcome to Newburyport, my friend. How are you?
Same truck, different fire, brother, every day.
Thanks for making the trip, man. Sounding great. How you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. Good. Just waking up. We're doing good.
Yes. Only the musicians waking up at this hour, right? That's fantastic.
Done straight.
You were coming right from Connecticut show last night, right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. Playing down, working out down that way, and
welcome to Newburyport. 100-degree weather and all that stuff you're bringing with you. Good stuff.
I'm in, man. I'm in.
Feels good. So we actually we had a great laugh in the parking lot. We were talking with some new friends out there before you came in, and they asked you where you grew up, I believe was the phrasing, and you had a loaded answer. You said it's not easy.
Well, it's funny because I spent a lot of time with my grandmother when I was growing up, and she was from Macon, Georgia, and a lot of my music and my recordings got back from Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and I'm finishing a record down there, and a lot of my musical influences, and a lot of my time artistically is tied to the South.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes when I'm in rock and roll mode, I sound like grandma. Now, don't get me wrong. When I'm ticked off, I definitely sound like a New England Italian. But when there's a guitar in hand and the stress level is relatively low, that's when a slight draw comes out and people just say, "Wait, where are you from?" Because then it ends up being that weird mix of of like I don't know, like Tony Soprano and Forrest Gump. It's just right there, right? It works.
Gotcha. Well, you sound great, man.
Well, thank you, man.
New England's been good to you, but you said you've played all over. I mean, would you say Midwest was good to you?
Yeah, I've been very lucky. I released my first solo album in 2015, and I was lucky that a guy named Zach Myers, who plays guitar in a band called Shinedown, I heard early cuts of it through ways of another, and he has a side project that's very acoustic. It's him and his three best friends from Memphis that he grew up with, and it's like a 4-part harmony, Crosby, Stills, Nash Young kind of thing, which is really cool because he's a killer guitar player in a rock band and like that. But that's the side thing, and he brought me on my first national tour, starting the day that first record came out.
Nice.
And then I ended up out with a guy named Lita Wise, who won American Idol, and then a lot of other people since, Blues Traveler, John Waite, Howie Day, and so I've been able to play concerts now in I think 43 of the 50 states of the country.
Wow, look at you, man. It's the guitar's taking you around.
Oh, it has. It has. They've seen better days, You saw what my van looked like pulling up here today, man. Clifford the big red van, man. Poor guy, he's pushing through. But,
it seemed good. I like that. It's a good-looking van. But yeah, does the travel ever get to you at all? You got the, I can tell just by how you play, you kind of leave it on out there every time you play. So you got to watch the voice at all playing so much, or what?
Oh, there's a little bit of that. I think, early on, I had no problem sleeping in the back seat of the van. I was on the West talking to some friends on the way down. I said, "Hey, I'm looking forward to playing. I'm looking forward to being in New England. I'm a big vinyl record guy.
Yep.
So I always like going to new places and find new record stores, new thrift stores, find albums. That's kind of like that's my guilty pleasure.
We got one downtown Newburyport here.
Oh, I'll be there. Don't worry about it. I'll be sifting through those cards. But the end result is that as I get older, the only thing I'm not looking forward to is sleeping in a van or sleeping on somebody's floor. So that's the only thing. I'm hoping there's a Travelocity deal in the region for me tonight.
Yeah, you do. It's funny. That's more of a, I don't know, I'm not sure how old you are, but when you get a little older, you appreciate a bed a little bit more.
No, definitely. That's when the things like, working air conditioning in the hotel room, that's when they start coming a long way.
There you go.
Because, they don't affect you when you're 22, but, once you hit the big 3-0, lack of air conditioning in a hotel room can be 3 bad shows the next couple of days.
As a 35-year-old, I can understand that very well. Yes, indeed. Oh, that's great, man. So very good. Well, you mentioned your grandmother, but how about who's the biggest musical influence in your, whether it be childhood or just overall? Who was the person?
Well, that's another loaded question. As an avid record collector, over 3,000 records alphabetized in my tiny little bachelor home, right?
Yeah.
I assuredly have a lot of musical influences, but definitely, growing up, old soul music. Mm-hmm. Sam Cooke,
Sam and Dave,
a lot of Ray Charles. But then in high school, before I had graduated college, I saw the Dave Mathews Band 137 times.
Did you?
I learned how to play guitar in the parking lots of their concerts.
No kidding.
So there was a point where my mom and I saved up for me to take a week-long guitar camp at the Berklee College of Music, right?
Oh wow.
It was all we could really, I couldn't really go there, but I could manage to go there for a week.
Yeah.
And I got there. It was like maybe 200 guitar players. I was the only one that brought an acoustic guitar, and I was the only one that was more than happy to play rhythm guitar. And I just did all this Dave Mathews stuff. They were looking at me like, "How are you doing?" I'm like, "What? This is the only way I know how to play guitar."
Yeah, which he says he plays wrong, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it was the whole that. But that's where you got me. I just play it. You got that.
Yeah.
That constant strum thing. That's all where that comes from. So I like to think that my music kind of blends a lot of things. And then over the last couple of years, I've been working a record down south in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and there's been a lot that's come into that. You know what I mean? You learn a lot about that. That swampy, that greasy soul music, and so I'd be a liar if I said it hasn't had a big effect on me recently. So.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, that's great. He's my guy too. I just saw him in Guilford a couple of weeks ago.
All right.
Awesome.
All right, so we're in the trust tree in the nest now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. DMB fan. It's funny, man. People, you know this. You followed him 100. I'm not quite 130, but I'm in every summer going back to high school days, whatever. and you probably feel this too. I know everybody who follows him is like, some people will knock on him for whatever reason, and like it feels like they don't realize that he's released things since like Crash or something. It's like, yeah, you know, the Crash answer, yeah, that was all good. I'm like, he's released 8 albums since then, and like he's like a 50-year-old man now. Like his music is like progressed. Like I like that stuff too. But I'm like, it seems, I don't know, people are weird. And if you don't like that band anyway, I mean, you're not watching the musical.
Yeah,
I mean those guys got chops, man.
Here's what I'll say, man. He made the acoustic guitar cool again.
He did. He really did.
He made the acoustic guitar cool again.
Yeah.
An incredible writer, an incredible voice, and you know, I study music. I love popular music. I love artistic expression in all of its forms, but specifically, I'm a music guy, and you know, when you go around and you look at the most iconic artists of all time, they have the one thing. That's that. Whether they're singing, what you know, you know, I was once told this. You know, what does Michael Jackson, Bruce Springsteen, Bob Dylan, you know, Dolores from the Cranberries, whomever, what do they all have in common? Yeah, they sing or play one note, and you know it's them.
Yeah.
And good. Think about, does anybody sound like the Dave Mathews Band?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
that's what made me. Many people come out with an acoustic guitar, present company included. After that, right?
Yeah.
Nobody sounds like Dave.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think they just got so big so quick. I think that turns people off sometimes. People will just be angry to be angry.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we all hope to have enough fans where people start hating on us because we have too many fans, right?
Yeah, that's true.
You're too successful. We're gonna start hating on you. Right?
He's not worried about any of those people. He's just worried about the thousands of people that see him 130 times. That's all he cares about.
Exactly.
All right, man. What do you got next for us?
Well, I'm playing a bunch of new stuff that's not released yet. That last one's probably gonna be the title track of my new record. That's gonna be coming out.
This could be the first time a lot of people hear this stuff, huh?
Exactly.
I like that.
I've been. That's the reason I've been doing a lot of these kind of shows. I call them my anything goes.
You've never
shows.
done a show like this, Frank. This one's very special.
No. Well, not the radio shows. I meant like the shows I'm playing after tonight.
Yeah,
right?
I got you.
I've been booking some of these what I would call unique venues. Right? I've been used to playing on stages, you know, with big sound crews, seats, and I've been taking a lot of these smaller shows and like breweries, things like that, and they're super enjoyable. I call them anything goes shows because I'm going to play unreleased stuff. I'm going to play stuff I'm working on. I'm going to play all those different types of things, and it's going to be one of those kind of really kind of like communal, community-driven type shows where I get to spend a little more time messing around with different instruments, doing things, you know, taking risks, right? And a lot of those risks are me playing new songs that, you know, aren't out yet. Yeah. And so that's what I've been doing.
Cool, man. Well, we're lucky to get the receiving end of it. Frank Viele in the house in our Newburyport studios here out of Connecticut, bringing his music to Newburyport. Take it away, my man.
You with the altar with the flowers in your hair, staring through a white veil out into the blue. And she left me in the hotel room feeling all a debonair, lost and gone alone without a clue. Funny how times like that can turn to days like this, and opened up my eyes to the lightning in your kiss. Ghostly veil shadows from my pedals to the floor, with fire in our hearts, 'cause we knew we wanted more. The lessons that we've learned, we'll take them all in stride, burning bridges over hearts we left behind. Laughing at the red lights and the sirens through the storm, or running headlong right into the wind, or fighting to be set free like the day that we were born, that never chain us to the ground again. And every moment I'm with you feels like heaven's bliss, and opened up my eyes to the lightning in your kiss. Ghostly veil the shadows from my pedals to the floor, with fire in our hearts, 'cause we knew we wanted more. The lessons that we've learned, oh, we take them on in stride, burning bridges over hearts we left behind. And the fears that chained us down are the fuel we used to ride. Now the tears are in the tank, and this T-bird's gonna fly. A ghost live in the shadows, but my pedals to the floor. With fire in our hearts, 'cause we knew we wanted more. The lessons that we've learned, oh, take them all in stride, burning bridges over hearts we left behind. Burning bridges over hearts we left behind. Burning bridges over hearts. Oh, burning bridges over hearts. Oh, burning bridges over hearts we left behind.
Yeah. Woo. Frank Viele, Joppa Afternoon Jive, live at Drew's house. Sounding great in our Newburyport studios. Feels good in here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Man, oh man! So you've been working like how many nights a week you playing? Would you say? Because you're bouncing all around playing these little strip down gigs, as you're calling them. It's all on you. Does that get hard at all? You gotta love it though.
I love it. We come see the show. You'll see. Like I do. It's all about tricks, right? I mean, I did what everybody did during the pandemic. I spent money I don't have on things I don't need.
Well said.
Right.
Yeah.
So I got some cool electric guitars, electric ukuleles, baritones, things
sweet,
like that,
man.
and started writing on them, right? But then when you go out and I'll be back on tour in November, opening for John Waite. I'm going back out in October with Lead to Wise, and
Oh, nice.
when you're doing those shows, right? You got 40 minutes,
Yeah.
and you're on and off. It's really about efficiency.
Yeah.
There is nothing efficient about my Anything Goes shows.
Yeah.
I'm setting up electric amplifiers, my revolving rotosphere cab pedal. I got like 7 guitars with me. I'm having a blast.
Fun time. You're playing around.
Yeah. So by no stretch of the imagination is it a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's like always, right? I mean, if I can get into a good space,
Yeah.
right, and the vibe is cool, right, I'm just at home having a blast.
Sweet, man.
I play some songs I didn't write, kind of throw people off on that. Like, ooh, that's a good one. There's all that. Songs people don't expect to hear me sing, and then then stuff that kind of falls in line, and then like old songs. That's the other thing too is my first 2 solo records were full length. They were 13 tracks deep. But then when you're out there playing those 40-minute sets, and doing all those kind of I would call those like real showcase performances, like I've been doing. You don't get to dig deep into your own catalog live enough, right?
Yeah.
And I have a lot of fans that they come out and they want to hear track 13 on the record, and I'm always surprised because I started doing some of these shows and I'll play 1 or 2 of those songs and I'll look out and there's people singing along.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, they do listen to my record.
Is that the most rewarding feeling in the world? It's gotta be, right?
It is.
When you hear people singing track 13 of that album that you didn't think anybody knew, that's gotta be the greatest feeling as a songwriter.
It truly is. There's 2 things that really got to me, in the last 6 years or 5 years of my career, and one is the first time that happened.
Yeah.
Right. You look out and you realize that stuff that you probably wrote for yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Is connecting with somebody else in that kind of manner, and that's super rewarding.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that was mind blowing to this day was the first time a fan showed me a tattoo they got with one of my lyrics on it.
No kidding.
And I'm like, wow. I don't even got one of those.
Yeah.
All right. That's dedication.
You remember the lyric?
Yeah. It was I lost the map. ... Finding my own way. It's a song off my last record called Finding My Own Way, which is kind of about realizing that it's okay if you're a little bit different.
Yeah.
If someone don't get it, then that's all right.
So you were blown away by that, though.
Oh yeah, I was shocked. I'm still at that in that phase where I'm just so grateful and surprised when I, doesn't matter how far I go from home, if someone's there. You know, I mean, I'm thankful. You know, you go to Nebraska and you see 3 people show up at a show wearing T-shirts with your name on it. You're like, oh wow.
Yeah.
You know, I don't take it for granted. It's I'm an avid music lover, and I do this thing, and it's all online, where I listen to 365 records a year with no other technology on, cover to cover.
Oh, wow.
To truly absorb 365 different records every year, right? And it's part of my listening goal and my relaxation goals. And then I make a Spotify playlist with my favorite song off each record. So at the end of the year, there's a playlist for 2021, 2022 with 365 songs on it,
wow.
right? And I push myself. I find genres. I go to, like, you know, deeper cut records that, you know, might not be the most popular of the particular artist I like, or I just, you know, I find things like this isn't what I would usually listen to, but it sold 10,000 copies, so it must be pretty good. There must be something there. Exactly, it must be something there, right?
Yeah.
You know, because otherwise you can fall into your 5 favorite bands, listen to whatever.
Right.
But the one this exercise, I'm on my second year on it, right? I listened to record 230 this morning, right? The exercise that has taught me a lot of things, but the one thing it really taught me was that, man, there is a lot of good music out there.
Yeah, there is.
There is so much good music out there.
Yeah.
There truly is. I mean, there's so many incredible records.
And if you stick to the radio, you're going to hear, you know.
None of it. None of it.
Yeah, I was going to say less than 1%, but sure, go with none of it.
No. I mean, I would say that I like radio. Radio's been very good to me. But, like, you know, like, you find music, and then you find layers of music, and you just find the guy behind the guy. Start listening to Harlan Howard and stuff like that, those guys that led the way for songwriters, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And then that brought a level of perspective to me, because when it was all done, I'm like, man, people actually spend time and money to see my music, or hear my music, or purchase my music, you know, and, you know, somebody's choosing to listen to me on Spotify instead of all this other greater stuff for that 3 minutes. Yeah. And that's perspective, and that's, you know, I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah, so. Good story. Let's take that one into the next song. I'm feeling good about that story. Nice. What are you thinking next? I know some people come in with a very structured set list. I love this style here. You're kind of just feeling it and going.
I'm totally winging it. I wanted to have plans. I didn't know what I was walking into. This was kind of a last minute thrown at me. I'm really glad it was.
Hopefully you're pleasantly surprised.
I am pleasantly surprised. This place is beautiful. Everybody's super kind and super accommodating. The chair is a nice, you know, ergonomic, you know, curvature to it, feeling pretty comfy, right? And there's a Frank Sinatra, looks like it's a second pressing, but still relatively OG, of Come Fly With Me on vinyl sitting up over there.
We get some albums for you.
I want that hat.
You got an album? If you got your own, we'll put yours up there.
Oh, I got one in the car. I got you covered.
There you go.
Of course I got vinyl.
Actually, since you mentioned the team, why don't I just give a quick shout out to Sarah Blackstone directing the show here today. Always appreciate her. Cal Eaton producing. Cal Eaton's putting a long day today, too, so Cal's doing a heck of a job as always. Ryan Rothberg and Sarah Hayden, the boss, our small but mighty team here in Newburyport. We appreciate you guys so very much. We got Frank Viele in the house today. He's out of Connecticut, but he's played all over the country here and making fans everywhere he goes, including here in Newburyport today. What are you thinking here?
So I was going to go to like a ballady type thing, but I just changed my mind. I told you about the lady that got that tattoo with that song on it. Now I feel like I'd be an absolute jerk if I didn't play that song.
You know, a good point.
Right. Who wants to be that guy? I got those old Dave Mathews bootlegs where, like, he's talking about a song I'm dying to hear. He's talking about Dancing Nancy's, and then he goes and plays I Did It.
Yeah.
No, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So,
it's funny.
This one was on my last full-length album, which was called What's His Name? And the name of the song is Finding My Own Way. And I wrote this one because, you know, when I was a little kid, my mom used to read me a book. It was called Leo the Late Bloomer. It was about a little lion, didn't really quite learn how to, like, color in the lines or ride his bike and stuff like that as fast as everybody else did. But eventually he got there, and he got there his own special way. And, you know, for some reason that book related to me.
Right.
You know, I'm in my 30s, and my mom still calls me Leo the Late Bloomer. And, you know, probably because, you know, like, when I was a kid, I still hold a record in Milford, Connecticut, Little League.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the only kid to ever strike out in T-ball.
Good for you.
But when it was all done, my mom said, "It's okay, Leo, come over here."
Yeah.
And we went to, and she got me ice cream, and then she took me to the store and bought me a Ninja Turtle.
Ah,
So I'm in my 30s, and whenever things don't go right, I demand ice cream and a Ninja Turtle.
good to know.
Right, so the things you learn when you're young.
Frank Viele live at Drew's house, Joppa Afternoon Drive from our studios here in Newburyport.
Step straight up towards the mezzanine. There's a girlie up there, yeah, she's waiting for me. She should know I won't fall in line. I tend to bob and weave and syncopate my rhymes. But darling, I lost the map. The compass is on the fritz. My phone been drained for an hour and the gas pedal it sticks. So I'm chewing on down the back roads, a little lost, some might say. Someday they'll realize I'm just finding my own way. I'm finding my own way. Raised eyebrows staring right at me, 'cause I tend to walk and talk a little funny. But it's all good, Mama says it's fine. A little crazy ain't no bother, eventually you fall in line. But darling, I lost the map, the compass is on the fritz. The phone been drained for an hour and the gas pedal it sticks. So I'm doing on it down the back roads, a little lost, some might say. But someday they'll realize I'm just finding my own way. Finding my own way. And I don't need your sympathy, she said. This world's gonna turn on a dime. And just when you fall to your knees, you're gonna learn. Gotta hit rock bottom before you fly. Gonna drop on a dime. Scratching like a tongue and living like a rat. The corporate race, yeah, that's tied around my neck. The lost, the wicked, this clock keeps on ticking, leaving your best days behind. And know we get up and go, girl, it's all I know. The only way to pass the time. The lovers, the losers, the 6 p.m. boozers, waiting for their time to shine. Girl, I said, oh, darling, I lost the map. The compass is on the fritz. Phone been drained for an hour and the gas pedal it sticks. So I'm doing on it down the back roads, a little lost, some might say. Someday they'll realize. Well, someday they'll realize, oh, I'm just finding my own way.
Woo, Frank Viele, Joppa Afternoon Drive, live at Drew's house. Excellent, excellent. Sounded good here in the Newburyport studios. First time on the show. I always love first timers on the show. It's so much fun. Because you know what? You and I, we've never met in person until today. In the parking lot. Walked you in. You did the old tick the wrong turn in here. That always happens. You can go right or left. You just got to guess right sometimes. I used to write it in the text message, everybody. Make sure you go left. And then it felt like too much information in a text message. So I don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. And then I've realized too many people are going the wrong way. But we met in the parking lot for the first time. So I always love like hearing, you know, a guest coming on that I've never heard, you know, live before. And then you're always like, all right, there we go. That was good stuff.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate
you. You sound great, man. It's fun to listen to you. Do you like the you're like the music guy through and through. You're listening to what averages out to, by my math, an album a day.
Yes.
Are you trying to do an album a day, by the way? Is it one per day, or do you mix in like 3 on Saturdays?
I try and do one per day.
Okay.
But I also, I do my best to get ahead of the schedule.
Good idea.
Because of tour dates when those things come, you know what I mean?
So you're a music guy through and through. Do you, what's the order of things you like to do? Is it songwriting, playing live, or recording?
I'd say songwriting number one is my favorite thing to do, and I think
tough.
I really like recording.
Yeah.
but I've also been very blessed to record, in some incredible spaces with some incredible producers, and so it's a very organic and wonderful experience. Right?
Yeah.
I love playing live.
That's probably
I've never
the
been
order,
asked
but
that
it's close.
question. I've never been asked that question. Like, what's the three? I mean, I'm usually asked the question like, hey, do you prefer like writing songs, playing guitar, or singing? Like, what are your favorites? And,
Right.
like, for me, my number one is writing. My second's playing. My third is singing.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah, I like the way I phrased it better.
Yeah, so
put you in
do
a tough spot.
You definitely did. I mean, I think that in the end, I've cut my teeth
Yeah.
on the road. I mean, it's been 6-7 years where I'm doing 150 shows a year.
Yeah. You know where I stole that question from? Actually, I should not take credit for it because I've heard artists. I don't even remember who asked the question, but I do remember the artist who had to answer it, and it came. And I was surprised at how it came back. It was Chad Stokes of Dispatch, who's one of my favorite songwriters out there. And somebody asked him that, and like anybody who knows those Dispatch shows, they're wild. And I mean,
I was at the Hatch show. You can see
you
me
were
in
at
the
the Hatch
DVD.
show.
I'm in,
There
like,
you
the
go.
fourth row.
Yeah, there you go. So I mean, that's the last Dispatch, which was not the last Dispatch. But like anybody who knows, like there's a lot of joy that comes out of those shows. It seems like he loves it as kind of the front guy. But so I always thought like playing live might be and it was third for him. He was like, I like songwriting's number one. I think he said song. I think he said your order in the end. And I was like, oh, interesting. I'm surprised he didn't put playing live, but I get it. I do.
Well, I think, the other thing, too, about a live concert is it could be two different things.
Yeah.
Right? A live concert can be showcasing your music. A live concert can be a muscle builder.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think that I like playing live because it's like a workout, right? I'm pushing myself as an artist. I'm pushing myself as a player, a vocalist, everything. And, you learn stuff as you go, and then you keep adding it. You keep building as an artist as you build as a human being.
Yeah.
And, the studio is where you get to sit back and look at your results and look at the work that you've done on the road.
Yeah.
At least that's where my career is so far. I mean, I got to assume that I would love playing live most if, all the concerts were Madison Square Garden.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a different ball game, and maybe it's there. But the end result is that for me right now, the studio, the writing is the beginning.
Yeah.
For me, it's where it all starts. I get to writing a song, build it, right? The recording of the song is the end result. The middle is doing all the work as a performer.
Yeah.
A live concert is developing yourself so that you write better songs and so that you record better material.
Right. Yeah, I've heard so many of these big names too. I mean, I've heard Springsteen say it. I think probably Mick has said it with the Stones. So many of these guys that are playing, the Madison Square Gardens all the time, they miss like where you're at right now.
I love it. I love this.
Like that idea of like I've heard Springsteen refer to it as like the blank slate. Like he goes, I miss that blank slate of just people showing up and not knowing what they're about to hear and just painting that picture for them. Like he's like, there's something about that.
That's exactly what these shows have been for me, man. These I call them anything goes shows. It started because during the pandemic times, and pre that I wasn't playing a lot in Connecticut where I live because I've been playing all over the country, and I found a couple venues that wanted me once a month. I'm the only live music they have, and it's kind of, we call them my sandbox shows, right?
Yeah.
And then the sets that started to build up out of those were special. Right, and fans were coming. People started traveling in from like New Jersey and from Maryland and New Hampshire and everywhere to come to these little breweries I was doing in Connecticut because it was a special kind of show. And so now I've started to take that concept and just bring it out with me while I'm waiting for the new record to drop and all the the things to fall in line. And it's been a blast. I mean, Involvement kind of snapped onto it, and they're throwing me in all these places up here in northern New England, and I got some shows going to be announcing down like Jersey, Philadelphia, that region as well. And it's that I walk into a spot that's might not be used to having music or might not be used to having my kind of artist, and I'm able to build an atmosphere and and create a special community environment for an evening.
That's sweet. Say it. We'll post it too, but just so you can verbalize it. Just where do people find you on Instagram and all that stuff?
So my official website is frankviele.com. It's also Facebook, Frank Viele, Instagram, Frank Viele, Twitter, Frank Viele. YouTube is the only different one. It's Frank Viele and then the number 1. Why I don't know. I mean, I'm everywhere at this point. I guess the Googles and the Spotifys and all that jazz. And I do recommend, if you're music lovers, following my Instagram, because every record I listen to in order gets posted on my stories.
Nice.
And then I update my Spotify playlist about every other day, so you can follow all those and just kind of groove with me on my musical journey as well, not just as a writer, but also as a listener.
Cool. You gonna play a new one for us? Or is this
this is going to be another. So far, the first two I played were unreleased. They're going to be out on my new record.
You stumbled upon a request almost with the tattoo story.
Exactly, right? And I didn't want to play all unreleased stuff, but that's the thing, is I'm so excited. I ended up writing 21 songs. I wrote 41. We recorded 21 songs for the new record and narrowed it down to 13 after, and that's going to be the new album. This is actually looking like it's going to be the last track on the record. It's a little bit off-center for me. Yeah. Because kind of a little more country than I usually write. But I mean, you can't go down south and not record at least one country song.
Probably true, right? All right.
A song called Trainwreck.
Cool. Live at Drew's house, Joppa Afternoon Drive. Frank Viele, take it away.
Should've known better than to play this game. Got my mind racing like a runaway train. This ride ain't over, and we ain't finished yet. Got a hairpin curve about a mile ahead. At the rate we're going, probably wind up dead. Been headed for trouble since the day we met. We ain't nothing but trying breakneck, running wide open with a blank check. Broken tape deck, playing our song. Champagne supernova all night long. Trying what's next? Running off the rails, what did you expect? It's a twisted mess. We ain't nothing but a train wreck. We keep stoking the fire, fanning the flame like Bonnie and Clyde. They gonna know our name, it ain't criminal. Love's medicinal, so fuel me with a lethal dose. We ain't nothing but trying breakneck, running wide open with a blank check. Broken tape deck, playing our song. Champagne supernova all night long. Trying what's next? Running off the rails, what did you expect? It's a twisted mess. We ain't nothing but a train wreck. Well, we might be dying on this hill, but what a way to go. If we crash and burn, I'll do it all again, just to hear that whistle blow. Oh, hear that whistle blow. Yeah. Nothing but train wreck, breakneck, running wide open with a blank check. Broken tape deck, playing our song. Champagne supernova all night long. Train wreck, what's next? Running off the rails, what did you expect? It's a twisted mess. We ain't nothing but a train wreck. Ooh, it's a twisted mess. We ain't nothing but a train wreck. Ooh, it's a twisted mess. We ain't nothing but a train wreck.
Yeah. Frank Viele on Joppa Afternoon Drive, live at Drew's house. Fantastic. Another playing some of his new stuff here today. You can find all his stuff online, as we mentioned, all the websites, the Instagrams of the world, and go find that calendar, too, because he's playing out there a lot over the summer, and then you get another tour in the fall. You said you're getting set for that, so not finalized yet, but you'll be good with the calendar online?
Yeah, good announcing. I'm always up to date on the interwebs, that's for sure.
There you go. Try to be good with that stuff. Very good. Final couple minutes here. Then I might ask you to just play us out with one if you're feeling good. But I do want to ask you, what's your best advice for the? I was out at a place here in Newburyport recently, and the guy had been on the show, so I went out to see him, and I loved him. He sounded great in here. I was like, man, you are fantastic. He just dropped the job and said, I'm going on all. Remember when you made that move for the first time?
For sure.
Going all in, right? He had that moment. He's going all in. And I'm thinking to myself, like, it was kind of like a quiet room. Like, they had the bar TVs were on, that atmosphere that I hate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, why are people not paying more attention? What is your best advice to the songwriter who, like, it's sometimes some of those rooms aren't the best rooms in the world, but, like, what's your advice to that songwriter trying to make it on the grind there?
I think that, in the end, I tell this story a lot, but my mom used to make spaghetti on Sundays, right?
Yeah.
Old Italians, right? And you knew it was done because you threw it up against the side of the refrigerator and it stuck. That's how you knew the pasta was cooked right? I feel like part of being in the music industry sometimes is just throwing a whole bunch of spaghetti up against the refrigerator and seeing what sticks, right? And in the end, every show is an opportunity to grow as an artist. Every show is an opportunity to make a new fan, and eventually you can begin to hit that point where you develop this muscle to create an atmosphere wherever you are. And the other thing I always say is, I said earlier that there's a lot of tremendous music out there.
Yeah.
There is a lot of tremendous musicians, so many, and I learn so much every time I play with another artist or see another artist or hear another artist. I always try and pick things up, but that perspective of understanding how much quality music is out there tells me that the most important thing you can do is respect the stage.
Yeah.
No matter what stage it is, go out there and give it your all. Because there's somebody else that would probably want that gig if you don't.
Yeah, well said.
So that's how I look at it, right? Go out there and crush it every night. If you got to close your eyes because the place ain't feeling the way it's supposed to be and pretend that you're somewhere else, then that's fine. But just go out there and own that show and give it your all, Well,
cool, man. I can't wait to see you on stage here very shortly. One other thing I did want to say, you mentioned how many great musicians out there. I have found that out here on this show. You meet people and you say, how can you not be a star? You're going to be a star. This is great. I can't believe I'm getting this little personal show. It's like the other thing I like about the music community, everybody like kind of feeds off, kind of drives each other in like a good way, supports each other. Like there's nobody that sounds like you. There's nobody plays exactly like you,
For sure.
That's kind of like, there's nobody, there's like no threat to you. It's just people are either going to, feel you or not. And I guess that's what it is maybe, but I love the music community, at least up here in the Northeast. I haven't seen it through the whole country. You probably have a better perspective of that, but it feels like to me, everybody just supports and drives each other and is there for each other when
there comes a point where you realize, and where you kind of hit this point where you realize that there's so many people that do music not because they just want to or they feel like it, because they literally have to.
Yeah.
Right? And and music does have the power to do a lot of things, amazing things, to really change things and help people.
Yeah.
And I've learned that in a very special way over the years. And so it's a gift to be able to play it. It's a gift to be able to hear it. It's a gift to be able to collaborate and be a part of a community of people that all have that same desire to, express positivity, and and real, human emotion. So, the community is really what it's all about, and as long as the communities that lift other artists up are the best communities.
Well said, man. We'll keep going. I love the hat, by the way. I haven't mentioned that yet. But are you a dog lover?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Me too. I got two of my own. I gotta get back to her at some point. Again, big thanks to Sarah Blackstone directing the show today, Cal Eaton producing, Sarah Hayden the boss, Ryan Rothberg's playing, and some fun with graphics over there today. Frank Viele, what a pleasure it's been to meet you, man. I really enjoyed it. Bring us home with one here. Hope you had a good time, man. You sounded great. See him on the road. See you, everybody, live at Drew's house. Another edition. We'll see you next time.